Here we are, and welcome to the best episode of 2023. Well, I don't know if it's the best, but it is definitely our best of 2023 because this is it, the last episode we're recording before the end of the year. And we're going to go through all sorts of lists of obvious and lesser obvious categories of things that we like. So think of this as like the biggest list of recommendations anyone's going to get all year. I have this problem, Lily. I'm curious if you have this problem. I have this problem when I get to this point in the year, I definitely forget how long the year was and I start mushing up what movies I watched.
Movenesia. I don't know what to call it. Medianesia, filmnesia. It's like as if it's just one trailer I've seen the entire year. I don't remember. And like, it's even like 2022, 23 blurs, like a confusing.
I 100% at one point thought Becky was going to pick her best movie of the year was Avatar: The Way of Water. And that was last year. It was last.
That is so close. That's within the last 12 months.
Right. But it was nominated for last year's Oscars, so it doesn't count. So no, you can't put Avatar: Way of Water on your list.
Whatever.
I mean, Becky wants to put it on every year, but anyways.
Becky's still putting the first Avatar on her list.
Stand by that. Those movies are amazing. I will fight you.
No, no one's disagreeing. Okay. Well, let's do the reverse of the Oscars in the sense that they wait for like best movie or, best picture for the end. Let's just start with that at the beginning. And also we all have many things that go in this. Best movie of the year. Lily, what were your best movies of the year?
I'm having trouble. Is it that I didn't see a lot of movies this year, or were there not a lot of good movies? The chicken or the egg?
This was a weird year. This was a weird year. When the strike happened, I shut down seeing movies. It was like after Barbie, I was afraid I was going to run out of movies to watch. So I didn't watch as many movies.
Right? I mean, I would say Past Lives is up there. That is one of the more beautiful, simple, it's a very, I think that movie impressed me greatly in terms of, it's not that it's like a crazy impressive movie, but to show a very specific slice of a love story that I feel like it's hard to kind of breathe life into love stories because we have so many, and I think that's
so. Is Past Lives your best movie of the year, or one of your best movies of the year?
One of them. I don't think I have a one that Barbie was great, and it's the only movie I've seen this year twice. Barbie was great. It gave me so much joy. I guess I'll go with Barbie. Yeah. I guess that's the best movie this year.
Okay. If I had to pick, so I think Barbie was the best movie of the year, but my favorite movie of the year continues to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That was
right. I blame myself though that I haven't seen enough movies. That's what I think.
Okay. Question before I give my answer. When did the Last Kingdom movie come out? Was that 2023?
The Last Kingdom finale?
No, the movie. Remember they did a movie?
Could have been.
I think
after. So we saw it with Mark Toner. All right, we all got together and watched it with Mark Toner. I want to
honorable mention that as one of the best movies of the year because the ending of that movie, which I think is so perfect and so beautiful to a little ending to the series. But if I would say best movie of the year, I'm going to categorize it by which movie delivered on its promise the best. And that I would say is Super Mario Brothers. If there was one movie that delivered on its promise, it was that, because there was a lot of movies and a lot of shows that I went to go watch this year that did not deliver on its promise. It was a bit of a bait and switch. Listen, I love the new Spider-Verse movies, but that second movie, I mean, I liked it, but it's certainly not going in my best movies of the year category because it has.
There's too many. It would have been, but it's too many movies.
I'm it suffers from second installment syndrome, or it's so much set up for the third one that it feels like not enough really happens. And whereas Super Mario Brothers, it gives you everything you want in that experience. So I think that has to be one of the best movies of the year.
All right. Some of my other best ones, I would say something else on that front of delivering on its promise. Murder Mystery 2 really delivered on its promise. That's a big favorite. We watched in my house many times. Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston and the rest of the returning cast were hilarious. And it's a really, really funny movie. We've seen it many times, and it's not complicated. It's just a funny adventure. Lily, how about you? What other movies are your best of movies of the year?
I thoroughly enjoyed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem with my kids. And I thought the animation was gorgeous and it was really fun to watch that. I like that more than Spider-Verse with my kids. Spider-Verse, I have a sweet spot because that first movie was so incredible, blew my mind. So I love Miles Morales and that whole world, but that movie was just too much movie. Like my kids could not follow the story remotely, and I kept thinking it was the ending, and then to be continued. It was too much. So I loved Mutant Mayhem. Was so much fun to watch with the kids. Like I said before, past lives. I love Totally Killer. I had such a great time watching. It's such a fun Halloween movie. Um, and then I feel like I just haven't seen enough to be able to truly comment. I guess I did way more shows this year than movies.
I don't want to forget that we watched so many movies for South by Southwest.
I have a whole indie movie section.
There's a whole indie.
I want to talk about my South by Southwest favorites. So I'm not going to put that in this category. This is like the movies we saw in theaters or were like big streaming events.
Right. I think these are we have a whole independent film category because there's a bunch of great stuff in there.
While Way of the Water came out in 2022, I definitely kept watching it in 2023. So that's still going in my 2023. I mean, I think I watched it like 4 times last summer alone.
We have a category for movies now from 2023 too. So Becky, already we know hers. So other ones that I put on my list though, of best movies of the year, because I really dug deep. I loved Sisu. I've talked about it on the podcast before. You can see it on demand, or I think it was on Stars. It's a Finnish movie, but a guy fighting his way through the Finnish wilderness against a group of Nazis. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Saw that in the theater with my kids, and that movie is fantastic.
I've seen it. It was very well done. I think it was very well done, and it was very sweet. I think for girls or women that have read that book when they were teens, I think and what that book meant to us, I think it's very hard to try and put it in on film. They did a great job. It's not my favorite movie of the year, but they did a beautiful job. I love that she has a cameo in it. She's in it for a split second. Judy Blume is in it for a split second. That brought me a lot of joy. She's like walking her dog on the street. And honestly, I'd watch Rachel McAdams sit on the toilet. Like I'd watch her read a newspaper. I'd watch her do anything. Like if the movie, not her real person, like if the movie was just her like sitting on the toilet, I'd watch that movie. If she's painting a bedroom, I'd watch that movie. I'd watch her do anything. So she's magic to me. And the movie was cute.
But it wasn't one of your best. That was one of my best of the year. I really loved The Blackening. I thought that was really funny and smart. And then The Iron Claw, which we reviewed last week, is definitely one of the best movies I saw this year. And I would love to see it in some kind of Oscar contention, maybe for acting.
I 100% agree. That was one of the best movies of the year, and it's because I cannot get it out of my head. And originally when we podcasted about it, I was like, oh no, that's a movie I'm going to see once and not go back to because it's a pretty serious, heavy drama. But I got to tell you, I absolutely would rewatch it. And I think it's beautifully made. I think not only for the performances that there could be some nominations. I think the screenplay, I think the directing, I think there's just so much in it that is expertly made.
Lil, next category. The next category I think is a tough one because this is a year where again you sort of time floats in weird ways, but then also it's hard because some TV shows they start maybe in one year and end in another year. But if so, this is how the rules for this one's going to go. This is going to be who had the best TV season in 2023. Now, if that's a TV season that started the previous year, you can still count it. So for I guess network shows, you can go either way. But in general, who had the best 2023 TV?
There's only one right answer here.
What's the right answer?
Succession.
Well, I agree that Succession is definitely the best show this year. But I thought
Severance isn't this year, right?
No, Severance.
It's like 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Severance is
Yeah.
2 years
So
ago.
then it's Succession because like those are the only shows I remember for the last 5 years.
Sure. So Succession, but then now let's talk about every other show since we know
Becky
it's
didn't see it.
Succession. I didn't know.
Becky's pretending to see it.
No, but I know that it's like everyone agrees that Succession. Okay, that was a quick category. Moving on. So we don't have to move on so quickly. Maybe let's get into some other ones. I would say I think one of the best emotional seasons I got this year was Heartstopper season 2. I thought it was fantastic.
It
And
was
I
very
know
well done.
that is true because Shy, your children have rewatched it multiple times and they will barely watch something the first time, let alone rewatch.
Well, no, but once they get into rewatch, then they never stop. Like I've seen now all of Parks and Rec so many times. I won't let them ruin Parks and Rec for me, but they've watched.
I would say that Heartstopper did the like okay, so Starstruck season 3.
There's
I
a
love
season
that
3?
show. Yeah.
There's a season 3?
It's in my Substack. You should read
Oh
it.
my God.
It's in my Substack, Rex. Starstruck season 3. I love that show. I love those characters. It came out in 2023, but it's the first season, the third time, and that's fine. I don't mind.
But the first season is so short that if you string them all together, you really get one
It's
season.
like one long season. It's fine.
The episodes are like 15 minutes, and there's like 6 of them, maybe 4. Like it's barely a season.
But what Heartstopper did is it moved like the story is different. It's not the same. You're not watching the same season over and over again in different variations because there's not, it's like a rom-com and that's it. Heartstopper takes the characters and evolves the story, and it's a really beautiful show about like teenagers just figuring out their life.
I want to do the unpopular opinion one. I'm very excited for it.
I would just say 2 other shows that are really big in my house this year were Ghosts and So Help Me Todd, starring Skylar Ashton Lipstein and Oscar winner Marcia Gay Harden. They're coming back.
I love her. I'm so glad that got renewed.
I have a great 2023. It just sort of eked it out here under the wire at 2023. The 3rd season of Slow Horses is so good. It's so much better than the 2nd season. Again, another one of those classics. Amazing first season, pretty meh second season. And 3rd season is phenomenal.
And at this point, there's so many anti-Semites that we just forgive Gary Oldman. Because we're like,
but Gary Oldman's like a classic anti-Semite. He's like an old British guy. Like it's just sort of like the way that he sees the world is through the Jew-hating glasses.
Right.
Like, there's just like not
and there's just so many now that have come out of the woodworks that it's just like
watch that. But
we'll
also
just keep him.
His character in the show, he's a terrible person and he's disgusting. He's revolting. So
okay,
he's like
so you can love
spy.
to hate him.
Yeah, he's like a good spy, but he's like a disgusting human being. So he's not the hero of the show by any means. Everyone hates him. So in that sense, it's a great Gary Oldman one.
Okay. All right. Now, unpopular opinion. Your unpopular opinion of the year. Thing that you liked or didn't like that everybody else liked. For me, again, also talk about another controversial actors in this movie. I loved Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. Saw it.
But to be fair, before the Jonathan Majors scandal came out.
Before the scandal. I have not watched it
twice in theaters. I saw it once with COVID, and it made the perfect amount of sense with COVID. I was like, yeah, my brain's in the multiverse right now. Let's watch this.
Yeah, movies I've seen twice in the theater this year. Barbie and Ant-Man Quantumania.
And you saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 times?
Oh, no, Guardians of the Galaxy twice. Guardians of the Galaxy twice also. Okay. Yeah, I loved it, and it was before...
Shy is making those AMC points work for him.
I do feel you're the right amount of embarrassed, though. You knew that this should be in this category.
Yeah, this belongs in this category. I think with the Jonathan Majors thing on top of it, I think before I would have stood on the Jonathan Majors performance as like, oh, no, this is something to watch. But now that he's turned out to be pretty awful and convicted, guilty.
Found guilty. Yeah, found guilty and fired from everything.
Yeah, so, but yeah, that's definitely mine. Becky, how about you? What is your unpopular opinion?
I have 2 unpopular opinions. The first is Magic Mike's Last Dance, which I believe came out like last February or something.
Okay.
I think so. It was 2023.
I was going to
I
have a
know that-
category called Ashanda, the Shonda category, and that isn't one of them. That's
yeah,
in
but
that
unpopular
category.
opinion,
That is,
guess what? Guess what? It's still super fun to watch. I love the
oof.
world in which Selma Hayek
It's like The Parent Trap,
dating
but with Magic
Channing
Mike.
Tatum.
He's like in
And
England trying
the
to
best-
live
the-
with his mom / girlfriend. What is
The
she?
best part of
Weird.
the Magic Mike verse these days is the Vegas show. And the third movie is basically about them putting on the equivalent of the Vegas show where you get to see some of the Vegas acts. So again,
I guess,
everything I
except
want
it's
out of
on the
Magic
West
Mike.
End. It's so bizarre.
Whatever, it works enough. Like again, you don't need to logic that movie to death. Just watch it and enjoy it. Second unpopular opinion, can I do two in a row? This very forgotten movie that nobody seems to have seen or liked except for me, which I believe is just like direct to streaming, starring who's in it? Oh, Chris Evans and Anna de Armas. Ghosted, where she's like a spy and he has like a big he's like they have like a one night stand.
They did not market that movie well because it was just
so adorable.
It's like the movie that time forgot. Like nobody that like audiences forgot that movie. They did not spend any money marketing it.
I was like mom giggling by myself watching it on a Saturday.
So is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's like an action rom-com.
Oh, a romaction, as they call it.
It was exactly what you want from a romaction.
But is it like the movie Gotcha, where Gotcha starring Anthony, what's his name? Starring the guy from Revenge of the Nerds, and he was also in ER. What was that name? What was the guy with the little glasses? Anthony Edwards, right? Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that movie because no one's heard of it.
It's Anthony Edwards, and I think a woman who was later in Law and Order. Totally forgot the name of her. And he has like an affair. He likes playing paintball with his friends, and the game is called Gotcha, I think. And then he has an affair with a woman that turns out to be a spy, and he ends up being chased.
Yeah, like he tries to do something romantic. She has to go off on a mission and he thinks he's been ghosted by her and he tries to do something romantic, so he tracks her down, but then he ends up sort of getting involved in the whole whatever spy mission story thing. And
okay, different plot, but same setup.
But they kind of they do. Anyways, it's very cute. It's very. I enjoyed it.
So neither of you have seen Gotcha. My biggest memory of Gotcha, other than the end of the my biggest memory of Gotcha, other than there was like a song written for the movie that was like Gotcha, gotcha where I want you. Hold on, is that I was watching the movie with Bubba, our grandmother, Bubba Salunya. And there's a sex scene in the middle of it, and she got very hyper and fast forwarded the whole thing.
All right, moving on.
All right, Lily, your unpopular opinion.
Oh, I don't know if this is like, I just don't know if I'd like advertise that I saw the whole entire thing, but the Pamela, a love story documentary about Pamela Anderson.
You made a whole documentary. What's it about?
About her. I started watching.
It's 2 hours. It's 2 hours. I thought it was fascinating, and I thought she was really interesting. And it's like clearly endorsed it. So it's her on it. Her kids are they were involved in the making of it, and it just revealed. I would say it was so much more interesting than watching the Lily James, Sebastian Stan sex tape one. I didn't watch that. But she does not endorse that. Once I read that she doesn't endorse it, I was like, I'm not going to watch that shit. This is about this woman's life who's alive. And this horrible thing happened to her. And they're making a show about it. And she's not on board. And it made me not want to watch that. And then the documentary came out. And I was like, I'll watch this instead. And I thought it was just so interesting. I just feel like, a Pamela Anderson doc is like kind of an unpopular, maybe like not highbrow. But I really liked it. And I feel like fingernails is not popular because it's like very weird.
Is this an ASMR thing that Becky watches where people grow fingernails?
That's what it sounds like.
With
Riz Ahmed.
Yeah. Oh, you saw
and
it?
Jeremy Allen White.
Oh my god, I really wanted to see it. You saw it? It was good?
Yeah, I liked it. It's definitely that like Severance-y tone of
Well,
like
the
weird
preview
and
reminded
slow.
me
And
of that movie Timer from a long time
Timer's a
ago.
much more fun rom-com-y version of this.
Version of it. But I feel like a lot of things borrow from that movie Timer.
I
The
know, which
Justin
doesn't get
Timberlake
enough.
movie?
No, it's this
No,
like
it
a
doesn't get enough
rom-com
credit.
from like maybe
Early 2000. I'll look it up.
like
No, that movie doesn't get enough credit, but it was ahead of
I
its
want to say
time.
like 2010. It's old, but it's like a
2009. Good
yeah,
job,
there you
Beck.
go. 2009, 2010. What would you call it? Like science fiction-y
Science
rom-com.
fiction
Yeah, like
romance.
that
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake movie.
No,
But that was more like,
that's like
yeah,
about
like
people who
spy-ish.
go through who like this is not about time travel.
No, that one's about out of time. A guy who's because you pay for everything with time in your life, and he runs out of time, and his
No, but this is
mom is
different.
Who
This is
plays his
different.
mom in that movie?
I don't care. Interesting. Um,
All right, so fingernails. Okay, now
yeah,
let's
yeah. I just don't feel like it's like at all a popular movie,
now
and I
now
wouldn't
let's talk.
recommend it to anyone but Becky.
Now let's talk about drama and the most emotional TV or movie moment you experienced.
We'll just
I
say quickly. Wait, sorry. We'll just say about drama. I feel like I'm gonna like. There's Maestro. There's May December. There's the Killers of the Flower Moon. Oppenheimer. There's some amazing movies out there for drama and emotional movies. I think we have been through too much in the last few months that I can't see any of those movies. So
well, it
I'm
doesn't
sorry to
also
that category.
it could
They're
be a
not going to be on
dramatic
this best of
moment.
list.
No, it could
No,
be a
I know.
dramatic
I
moment.
just wanted to make a side note about drama for this year's best of. I don't think we're going to have a lot of those recommendations.
If I have to recommend one drama, it's definitely Iron Claw.
Okay.
And
yeah, but just like a disclaimer on this episode.
fair enough. But for me, the biggest dramatic moment, the most important one of all, is I am the eldest boy.
I wrote it down. Yeah.
That's by far mine, the most.
Yeah.
But Becky, you haven't seen
the end of Succession was.
I know what happens. It's fine. Everyone dies.
No.
That's not what happens. But
although some people I think had that.
No one takes them seriously. Whatever, right? Something like that. They're not serious.
Oh my god.
That is definitely
I have so many on this list.
All right, go for it.
How bad Ted Lasso season 3 is. I find that a dramatic, emotional moment. It is not fair, and it's so disappointing. The end of that bear episode Forks with I can't pronounce his name. The not
Eben
Jeremy
Moss.
Allen White character. Eben Moss. Thank you. That episode and the ending of that episode was so beautifully done and like blew me away. Series finales this year were so good for me. I love the series finale of Working Moms. I love that show so much. It's 7 seasons and they did such a beautiful job. Love the series finale of Sex Education. Loved that show like that last season. I know Becky doesn't fully agree, but I did. And yeah, and then I'm the eldest boy.
No,
I feel like
the last season was well done, and the finale it was well done. But there's also a lot of stuff in that last season. A lot of stuff in that last season was very extra.
Sure, but I said goodbye to 2 of my favorite shows this year, and I'm very satisfied. It's rare to be satisfied by a series finale. And 3, Succession, Working Moms, Sex Education. I'm very happy. No complaints with those 3. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. What about you, Beck? What tugged at your heartstrings that wasn't the Super Mario Brothers movie?
It was very hard for me because I'm made of stone, so I don't really know that I did cry. I have to think about it because it's hard for me to like go back and remember. Like it's more like I just delete the hard drive space as soon as it's over. So I need a moment. These are like TV shows that tugged at my heartstrings. I don't know. I think of my COVID. I think COVID erased a lot of stuff. I'm just going to go back to Heartstopper because I just remember watching that a bunch in the summer.
Okay. I mean, that's a good one. I think I will say, even though it's a comedy, and this is a good segue to comedy, is that to our comedic moment is Shoresy has great emotional moments. In general, it has great emotional moments. I haven't watched the Letterkenny final season, which just came out, but I assume that will have emotional moments too. There's something about the way Jared Keeso does absurd comedy that he also manages to really tug at your heartstrings. Now let's talk about funniest moment. Do either of you have a funniest moment in a TV show or movie? I have mine ready, and I have visual evidence to support it.
I don't know what yours is, and
Okay, so
I'm
hold on.
so excited.
Okay, so mine is, and I mentioned this in our chat. The great Rebecca Johnson directed and wrote a movie, directed a movie called Step Aside, which is has a little bit of like a Waiting for Guffman feel about a small town dance competition. And I'm going to set up the scene because I want you to just watch the scene, and I'll figure out how to edit this later. But there's a scene where the main character, who is this played by played by Arden Mirren, whose nemesis in the movie, by the way, is played by Jackie Tone. But Arden Mirren, she has to apologize in order to let her team back into the competition for this thing that she did the previous year or something she said. But her character physically can't apologize. And when she gets upset, she farts. And there's a scene of her on them trying to film a TikTok video of her trying to apologize and her just farting. That is absolutely hilarious. And we're going to watch it together.
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant bit to have in a movie.
Yeah. Like a fart joke is a fart joke, but then there's a whole other
Show
level
me
of
a
fart
joke I haven't seen before.
Exactly. That's what I
that's
haven't
it.
seen. Anyways, that was great. Okay, now let's Lily, anything funny you saw? Any funny moment?
You know, I've done a lot of romance this year. I wouldn't say anything that's like crazy laugh out funny that I can think of. I don't know. I'm not. That's sort of like that's a great scene and that's a funny movie. I mean, has there been great comedies this year? I don't know. You know, I'm not. I don't know if we've been like there hasn't been a Hangover or an Old School or Bridesmaids in a really long time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. Okay, let's talk about though indie movies. Becky and I spent a lot of time at South by Southwest. You watched a lot of South by Southwest movies. Movies that came out in 2023 that I loved from those. One is Pretty Problems from Michael Tennant and Britt Renchler. That one,
I
not only did we
really
love
like
that,
that movie.
but we continuously quote that movie. That's on Hulu. Everyone should watch that. It's so funny.
It's so funny and it's a great concept. The odd thing is when I went into that movie, I thought it was a murder. Like I thought it was like a horror comedy and everybody was gonna die at the end.
Or it was gonna be like a White Lotus situation.
Right. We're like there was a murder. And then halfway through Becky's like, no one dies. And I was like, oh, okay. It was great though.
It technically came out in 2022, but it was released on Hulu in 2023 and had its like
that counts.
Release on Hulu, so we're counting.
That counts. Yeah. No, I love that movie. I 100% encourage people to watch that. And I love them. The people, Michael Tennant and Burt Reynolds, amazing.
And then a movie from director Dutch Southern, which we saw at South by, which is Only the Good Survive, which I haven't seen that reappear on mainstream streaming yet. But ooh, that movie's amazing. When that comes out, people are going to love it.
100%. That's my favorite indie movie of the year. We saw so much stuff at South by, and that for me is the number one standout. I cannot believe it hasn't been released somewhere yet. It's so fantastic.
And then I would say also 299 Queen Street West, which is a documentary, but it's definitely independent, from Sean Menard, is just incredible. It's actually just going to be released, I think, soon on Crave in Canada on the Canadian streaming channel. But I can't wait till that comes to the United States because that is just an incredible documentary that shows a piece of music history that people don't fully get. Plus, it has all the VJs in it. The Much Music VJs. Lily, are you talking? I can't hear you. Uh-oh, Lily. You're losing Lily.
Sorry, I'm here. Can I say mine?
Yeah.
So I mentioned Past Lives, which is an indie movie. It was beautiful. I also have Heightened, which I hope people can see everywhere. I don't know where people can see that because we saw that through.
It hasn't been released like
It hasn't
widely
been
yet.
released yet, but that is one of the coolest movies I've seen. I do hope, and I know I'm going to love The Holdovers as an indie film. And Asteroid City is indie. That was very fun. That was. Is it indie?
Asteroid City is
Is it an independent film?
I guess
I'm
so.
pretty
Yeah,
sure it is.
it's Wes Anderson. It's almost like
It's up there.
feels like at this point Wes
A big
Anderson
studio,
is parodying himself with how Wes Anderson-y his
Oh.
movies are.
Right, but I think that he does that well in this movie.
No,
With the
he does.
play,
It's
the
very well
whole-
done.
yeah.
There's certain like details that stood out to me that are just so perfect. Like when the alien comes down, right? I don't know if you remember. It's such a
Played by
tiny-
Jeff Goldblum.
We laughed so hard. Lana and I were laughing so hard. The alien comes down and from his like little spaceship and like this little
It's
whatever,
so well done.
like
a little, like
ladder,
a pole.
like the pole,
a
like the pole
pole,
comes
yeah.
down, and then these like legs shoot out, and then these like extra little legs shoot out, like these little like this tripod for him that touches the ground. I don't know, it's those tiny little extra details. But I will say, for myself, watching Asteroid City, a standout performance to me, the thing that kept me watching the most is Jake Ryan, who plays Jason Schwartzman's eldest son.
It's sad. Yeah. Woodrow.
That to me
Yeah.
is the best part of the movie, without a doubt.
All right.
I think at this point, like there's so many celebrities in these movies and they have like one line each, basically, because there's just so many. That it's a joy to be able to follow like a character like Jake Ryan's character, because he's lesser known and he's a great part of the movie, and everybody else, you're just like waiting for Scarlett Johansson to say her like quip or whatever. But that was a cool movie. I'm on board.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, one of my favorite questions is music moments. I have two. Your best music moments of the year. One is the final shot of The Bear season 2 with the sparks.
Can you remind me of that?
He's in the
See, 'cause
fridge. And
he's in the fridge.
Sparks and the REM
Because they're
song
opening the
playing.
door. Because they're opening the door.
Yeah, because they're trying to
for
open the door.
him.
Like he's locked himself in. He's made this prison for himself. It's incredible. And then in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, there's a couple. One of them is when they use the Space Hog song in the meantime, and it's them in the wildly colored outfits, jumping to invade some sort of space station. But then the other is when they do No Sleep Till Brooklyn for the big final fight scene. Is just absolutely incredible music, incredible scene. It's so great. So those are my big music moments. How about you, Becky? Do you have one?
No, Shy. No, most people.
The whole
aren't going out
the whole
watching
second
shows.
season of The Bear.
Yeah, but I would say the entire
music in that show
second
blows
season-
me away.
I would
Yeah.
agree. The entire second season of The Bear is an incredible musical moment, but I don't think most people are watching shows going, I'm going to put that on my list for best musical moment of a show. So no, I wasn't keeping track this year of my favorite musical moments, but now I'll know for next
But
year.
the whole Bear.
To write
season.
down, put that in my notes. But the whole second season, there's just so much REM. Every time someone puts an REM song, and I'm like, you know what you're doing.
And there's Bruce Hornsby for the record in Pearl Jam. Okay.
Is there Goose?
There's
And Wilco.
Goose hasn't made it yet. Someone needs to
Wilco.
put the Goose song, Pancakes, by the way. That's a great song, everyone. Pancakes. It's a Goose song. Okay. We talked about movies not from this year because we talked about Pretty Problems and we talked about Avatar Way of the Water.
And Severance.
Yeah.
Which is
For the record, you brought up Avatar Way of the Water first.
Okay. Byron meant a few things. Just a little lightning round of Byron meant ads being added to streaming services. I think yesterday, Amazon Prime, talk about, by the way, a spam that I would have clicked on.
We did talk about Jury Duty. That was the best show of the year.
Oh, that's comedy.
That's
Sorry.
the best comedy.
That was
best
the laugh
emotional
out loud.
moment, that
Oh,
has the
shit,
best
you're right.
comedic moments. James Marsden.
No, you're right.
Pooping, clogging up a toilet.
That is the best comedic moment. Thank you,
give me a
Becky.
poop
I knew
joke
there
I
was
haven't seen
something,
before.
but I was like, I haven't seen something. And that's a poop joke I haven't seen before.
Fart joke you haven't
A
seen? Give me a poop joke I haven't seen before.
A celebrity pooing and then like not owning up to his poo and having a real human being think that he's pooed and it's a hot guy like James Marsden, it honestly doesn't get better than that.
So that has everything.
Like,
it has the
they
best
were like,
emotional
guys,
moments, the best
we're
comedic
going to
moments.
break the mold on prank shows and we're going to add a poop scene. And James Marsden was like, yes, I'm here for this. Yes,
He must be
I'll be
so
here for
cool
this
in real
historic
life
moment.
that he did that. I mean,
He's nominated for Golden Globe.
All right, good. Okay, good. All right. So Buy Rent Meh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you got to that. Okay, so Buy Rent Meh ads being added to streaming service, because yesterday, talk about something where I realized after I clicked on it, it could have easily been a phishing attack. I got an email from Amazon saying they were adding an ad tier, but I could pay $2.99 extra a month to have no ads. I immediately clicked on it. I didn't even check to see if the email was a real email because I don't want ads on my streaming. So I'm
How
going
desperate
to,
are they for $2.99?
Lily, if you multiply it times 100 million users, it's a
No,
lot
that's
of,
true. But they
that's a
were
lot
like, you
of,
know what?
that will pay for like one
$2.99.
more triple frontier.
One more triple frontier. But they're like, $2.99 is cheap enough that anybody will click, even if it might be a scam, because they're so desperate to not want ads.
because I'm
But
very,
enough
very,
money
very wary
where
of
we
scams.
can make another Expendables or whatever, Extraction with Chris Hemsworth or one of those shit movies.
Well, I paid immediately, so I'm going to meh ads being added, but I'm going to. This is like talk about the
Buy
definition
the
of
option.
privilege. Buy the
Buy the
option. Buy to those
options and not-
small amount round up, right? Because Peacock did the same thing. It was like an extra $1.99, I think, to not have ads. It's like very, very, very slow upselling, but I feel like you're getting quality for that upselling. You're paying more for what you already got, but they're tricking you rather than raising the prices. They're tricking you into.
But here's a question. It's like with Spotify. I don't know anyone on who has Spotify who listens to the ads. Maybe I surround myself with only privileged people, which is possible. But I'm
Or did
saying,
they pay
like,
but did they pay for a Spotify account? There's lots of people who don't have paid Spotify accounts.
They just listen to the ads.
And there's lots of people that also don't have paid Zoom accounts and can only do 45-minute meetings.
Me. That's me. That's me. Me.
If you're
but
ever
I don't know that many
people and want to know why the Zoom link is coming for me or Shy, it's because Lily is too embarrassing.
Yeah, that's 100%.
No, she's saving
true.
her money for the ad list
for
streaming.
the ad list, exactly.
No,
and YouTube.
No, she's not.
YouTube
she uses
so
my
expensive.
accounts, so I don't know what she's saving.
No, I have my own Spotify.
True.
I do have all my own accounts now, guys.
Buy Rent or Meh, Lily using your accounts. I say buy.
And having her own accounts, but still remaining on yours.
But I say
for
buy
nostalgia.
because it helps me practice my Spanish. Because whenever I get into Disney Plus, all the shows and languages are turned to Spanish. Hola, Los Incredibles.
Give it a meh because I can never download stuff from my Netflix account because too many devices are being used up for all of her.
That's not true because now on all the devices it's my own accounts, but on my TV it's still your guys' accounts because I miss you. I like seeing your names.
And then I feel like we can all agree that our bleh, which is only reserved for the worst situations, our bleh of the year definitely goes to all the anti-Semites.
100%.
Most of you know who you are. A lot of you don't.
But especially the celebrity ones.
Yeah,
you get a special bleh.
I doubt they still listen to this show though. So I guess everyone here is just chucking along with us. All right. What about your LVP, your least valuable movie, TV show thing, pop culture thing of the year? For me, mine was definitely Marvel's Secret Invasion. That could have been
That's not a thing. You just made that up.
No, here's the plot.
No one asked.
No.
Nobody asked.
No one
Moving
asked.
on.
You don't want to know what happened to Nick Fury when he came back to Earth as an old man and found out everyone he ever loved was actually a Skrull?
I don't want to know what
I don't want to know because first we have to know what a Skrull is.
I don't want those words.
I need to order dinner.
Lily,
for this conversation.
I'm not equipped.
It was so boring.
I love Ben Mendelsohn, but no. And I would say the LVP is that they did not renew the other two, but yet it's on everybody's best TV show list. So that's
I'm having a hard time watching the third season.
I couldn't watch the third season. Once I knew it was canceled, it was too emotional.
Yeah, and I'm also like LVP
I'm sorry, Becky, I'm LVPing the Magic Mike movie because was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
You know
and
what?
I was sad
Agree
that I saw
to disagree. Don't yuck my yum. You also didn't see it in theaters with Allie, and I don't know if I should even Allie and her friends, I'm just going to say this, who have like a dirty book club. And let me just say it was a very spicy evening.
Okay, that's probably why.
I don't want to name those names. I don't want to.
It was very
those women. I don't want to out
Dirty
those
Book
women,
Club
but let's
Anonymous.
just say there were some like cocktails and trading, titles of the dirty romance novels, and then a lot of hooping and hollering at the Magic Mike. I was hooping and hollering at the movie. But so listen, all in all, it was a great experience.
All right. How about MVPs? This can be performers, properties, anything.
For a second, I thought you were talking about all of
intellectual properties, not Lily's Airbnb empire.
We're MVPs.
Okay, my MVPs. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to just list some people who I think are amazing and gutsy.
I think
that I follow, and I don't think I need to go into a lot of detail why. I'm just gonna just list some names: Chen Drachman, Flo Lowe, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, Jill Kargman, Aline Brosh McKenna, Jessica Seinfeld, Brett Gelman, Caroline de Amour, aka the Pizza Girl,
Sheila Katz,
and Sheila Katz,
Deborah Messing,
and Deborah Messing. Do we agree those are our MVPs right now?
Yeah.
All right, now, even though there was a lot of things we watched, because I was nervous about running out of stuff to watch, there's a lot I haven't watched, and I'm going to run down an epic watch list. And my goal is to watch most of these things. In fact, I just watched They Cloned Tyrone, which was on this watch list. I took care of that over vacation, and that is a very cool movie. Jamie Foxx and an amazing John Boyega. John Boyega is amazing in that movie. Very, very much a Shy Corman sci-fi, Nope, Us, Get Out kind of like vibe, like my kind of interaction of comedy and sci-fi. Okay. Movies I want to see: Ferrari, Boys on the Boat, You're So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah. Yes, I haven't seen that yet. American Fiction, The Holdovers, Suitable Flesh, starring Judah Lewis, Freelance. That's a John Cena, I think, Rome action.
Yes, I know. We all wanted to watch it the other night, and we had to watch The Voyage of the Vampires.
No, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which was on my list, but we saw that. That was awesome. Golda, Vacation Friends 2, also starring John Cena.
I saw that.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Okay. Gran Turismo, based on a true story, I think is like the colon. The Marvels, I still want to see.
Based on a true video game story?
No, it says it in the title. Okay. The Marvels, which is the most recent Marvel one with
I don't believe that movie.
I thought that was.
I believe they are still. I think it's just a preview. They made a preview. They're just showing it as a preview for the next 2 years, and then it'll get nominated for something.
But also, isn't that the movie you just named before?
No, that's Secret Invasion, not to be confused with Secret Wars, which is eventually coming. Okay, Heart of Stone, starring Gal Gadot. The Meg 2, The Trench. I
was gonna put that on my embarrassing movies of the year.
No, I want to watch
I forgot.
And Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem with your kids. Then I want to see Theater Camp. I want to see Joyride. I haven't seen Asteroid City yet. Somewhere in Queens, Knock at the Cabin, and Plane.
Oh yeah.
I went to
movie sticks with its temp title.
Yeah, but also I went to like write in the notes or something, and my cursor went on that line, and then the emoji just came up, and I was like, it was just a plain like emoji because it read the word. I was like, oh my god, if the title of your movie can just be replaced by an emoji, that's clutch.
Lily, what would you like to see? What's on your watch list?
And again, none of the famous movies that I'm sure are wonderful, like I said, May December.
I sadly
are on this because I can't.
Yeah, I have not put the heavy movies on here
because
maybe I'll see them. Yeah. But they're not on my I want to see list.
Okay, that's stuff that's not on yours. Did you say Suitable Flesh? Yeah,
I
you
did say
said that.
School of Life.
Okay. Poor Things, Anatomy of a Fall, Pain Hustlers, American Fiction, Killers of the Flower Moon, Saltburn, Bottoms, and Dream Scenario.
Okay.
That's my
So
list.
there is like 4 Nicolas Cage movies out at the same time now. Are they all supposed to be awesome?
I think Dream Scenario is supposed to be the big. Oh, is Renfield this year?
When was that last year? When did we see Renfield? That was a great one. I
That's
loved
this year.
Renfield.
That's this year. Yeah,
That was
that's a cool
another
movie.
great one that we saw.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was another
But I
Nicolas Cage thing.
think the Dream Scenario is like supposed to be the artsy highbrow of the Nicolas Cages
Yeah.
But then
of
he
the
has
year.
but
He
they're
has like
all
a
him with
cowboy
weird
one.
hair.
Because then he has a cowboy one as well. He's got a few.
You guys have a good list going. I'll just agree.
All right, Becky.
Yeah,
and I feel like we
yeah.
should knock some of these off in the new year. And obviously, my real MVPs of the year are Lily and Becky, because you two are the best co-hosts and the best sisters. And
This is a fun year.
Love you
Oh,
guys.
and my MVP, my true MVP is our episode, The Purple Package. That was the gift that keeps on giving of 2023. I suggest everybody go and listen to that episode of the podcast.
I think that's a great way to end. And then look for any other episodes with the word package in the title. Continue that story with our mom.
Listen, there's nothing like a family sitting around talking about dildos.
Yep.
We'll end on that note. Have a
Happy New Year.
great close. I hope you had a great closeout to 2023 and wishing everyone a happy and healthy and safe 2024. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Friday Night Movie, the sibling rivalry and pop culture podcast. Join the Friday Night Movie family by following @FryNightMovie on all of the socials and visiting our website, FryNightMovie.com. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat? And make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.